Hello, everybody. I would like to share some more ideas on how to keep safe and responsible during this difficult time. To start with, of course, as I've said before, I'm not a doctor, but I do listen to the best doctors and I am giving you good information. Secondly, that the information changes as time goes by for two reasons. Either as further research and more studies are done, we come out with different answers, or even based on the same information, there are other factors that can change and prompt different advice from governmental and health bodies. So last time I spoke about masks and said that there are really three reasons that masks would not be necessary or even inadvisable. The first is the shortage of medical masks, which continues around the world and remains a real factor. So regular people who are not working in hospitals with those who are really ill should not be using medical masks. Those still need to be reserved for the health practitioners who are doing all kinds of medical procedures that place them at greater risk, and of course being around sick people a lot more. The second reason is because people who are not used to proper mask safety should be careful that, in fact, the masks do not become a source of infection. The masks start slipping down from their face, so they now, adjust the masks, and now they're putting their hand on the face near the infectious areas. The third reason is that there is no evidence that shows that masks stop a person from getting ill. Again, we're talking about regular masks, not necessarily some of the medical masks. There's no evidence that those stop a person from going on, and there seems no real evidence that it even stops spreading, although maybe. That said, the Western Cape government, for example, has recently recommended that people do wear a kind of a homemade mask. There are details on their websites. I'll link it in the description about what kind of mask you should use, so that you don't use the medical mask, exacerbate the shortage, but that you are keeping others safe more than yourself. The idea of these homemade masks is really, in case a person themselves is sick without knowing it, that they don't spread the illness to others. The second question that comes up is about gloves. Should you be wearing gloves? And on this, the medical advice currently is no. Again, in a sterile medical environment dealing with patients, etc., there's something to talk about. But out here for all of us, gloves become contaminated potentially in the exact same way as our hands. Once you've touched 2-3 things, those gloves are no longer good. And the concern both about gloves and masks is that they can create a false sense of security. So we should not be relying on gloves. There's no good reason to be using gloves. The one who will know what to do about your hands, well, wash, and don't touch your face. So those are the main things you need to do about hands. The other one that comes up is about vitamins. Somebody asked me, vitamin C is chametz on Pesach. The particular vitamin C they were looking at is chametz on Pesach, but can they take it anyway because there's compelling need to boost their immune system? Well, there is no such thing as boosting your immune system. Your immune system, if you are a regular healthy person, your immune system is already operating as well as it's going to get, and taking any kinds of vitamins or minerals are not going to boost it. We would sometimes recommend vitamins and minerals for pregnant ladies because they have, babies that are taking a lot of the vitamins and minerals that they would otherwise get. And there's, of course, concern about people who are immunocompromised in some ways, whether it's they're on chemotherapy or other kind of immunosuppressant medication. But for a regular healthy person, again, no evidence showing that zinc or vitamin C or magnesium or any of these things has any kind of positive effect. So those are things that we don't need to worry about. In these sorts of situations, there's the great saying, a drowning man will clutch at straws. There is a temptation for us to feel like we are drowning, like it is a scary world out there, and I understand why. And therefore, we've got to do whatever, and just the extra thing to be extra safe. Well, I personally don't encourage such a view. I always believe in a more balanced approach based on what the experts are telling us is tried, tested, and helpful. Because a lot of the time, doing extra stuff just in case can actually have negative unintended consequences, or it can feed into a sense of, I'm worried about what's going to happen. Yes, it's justified to be concerned about the future. But as I've said in the past, great words of Rabbi Nachman, the world is a narrow bridge. It's a scary world out there. The main thing is not to be afraid. Be rational, be reasonable, take the correct kind of precautions that we're being advised by the experts, but don't take this more is more approach. More is not always more. More precautions do not equal always more safety. I would say double down on the key recommendations around physical distancing, around washing hands and not touching faces. Those are the things that, God willing, will get us through this. Please God intact, in good health, and with a strong connection to one another. I wish you all a wonderful day.